One day removed from some of the most chaotic protests Salt Lake City has ever seen, local Black Lives Matter activists say they're not to blame. Hear what they have to say.
Plus, he's made headlines across the country for pointing a bow and arrow at protesters. Why police are now looking for him.
And see how one community is showing support to officers after being on the front lines of those protests.
Live from Fox 13 Studios, this is Fox 13 News at 9.
Happening now, Salt Lake City Police, along with the Utah National Guard, enforcing a citywide curfew that began at 8 last night and will be in effect until 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. This is a live look now from 4th South and State Street. Salt Lake City Mayor Erin Mendenhall describing the city now as quiet and calm.
The mayor mandating this curfew after protests spurring by the death of George Floyd turned violent. This time last night, it was a radically different scene from the chaos we saw in downtown Salt Lake. And in many parts of the country, violent protests are still happening. Take a look at this map. It shows all of the cities holding curfews tonight. Salt Lake City is among the 19 cities seen here, but in some areas, protests are still going on despite those curfews in place.
And many chanted Black Lives Matter as they walked the streets of Salt Lake before and after those protests got violent. But the Black Lives Matter Utah chapter says they had nothing to do with the violence or protests that we saw yesterday.
Fox 13's Elle Thomas joining us live tonight in the area of 200 East, 500 South with more. Elle, good evening.
Yeah, hey, Brian and Kirsten. So as you just saw, this entire area downtown locked down from State Street to 3rd East and then from 5th South all the way to 4th South, just completely locked down by lots of police presence over here following that protest. Now, despite those chants that you were just mentioning, Black Lives Matter says they had nothing to do with the events that took place here last night. Here's what they had to say.
Black Lives Matter Utah did not hold a protest yesterday. We did not hold or plan a protest yesterday. The narrative around this is disturbing. We have seen the damage in Salt Lake City. We have heard people blaming us for that damage. We have not seen people care about Black lives as much as they care about damage to buildings. On the other hand, we saw a crowd of thousands of people yesterday. We have not seen those thousands of people attend our police reform meetings. If your activism only consists of destruction and not building, that is not activism. That is also not what this movement is about. This movement, the Black Lives Matter movement, has never been about inciting violence and destroying property. This movement has always been about fighting against police violence and fighting for Black lives. And when we say that Black Lives Matter, we are not saying that our lives matter more or the most. We are saying that our lives matter because they do.
Lex said she encourages people who want to help cultivate change to join them in their efforts to fight for reform. You can find more information on their website, blacklivesmatterutah.com. Live in Salt Lake City, Elle Thomas, Fox 13 News, Utah.
Elle, thank you. Today, the group Utah's Against Police Brutality released a statement about the violence. The statement reading in part, "This is what happens when elected officials, police departments, and leaders ignore the constant call for justice in the U.S. This is what happens when the people get tired of waiting for Salt Lake and Utah to do something about racist cops and police violence." If you would like to read the entire statement, we have it on our website right now, fox13now.com. Over 40 people were arrested in last night's protests, but Salt Lake City police are singling out one man who's made national headlines.
Investigators are looking to file charges against a man who was seen holding a bow and arrow as well as a machete and pointing those weapons at protesters. Fox 13's Spencer Joseph has an update from law enforcement on this case.
Police made over 40 arrests at the protest in downtown Salt Lake City, with those taken into custody being charged with various crimes.
Most of those were failure to disperse, several arrests for assault on police officers, and the remaining were curfew.
One person not arrested last night was this man, seen in video circulating on social media while holding a bow and arrow, pointing it at protesters.
We're looking into that. That is one of our priority investigations, and that was troubling. That was a horrible situation.
Multiple cell phone videos showing it wasn't just a bow and arrow, but at another point involving a machete. Standing near his car, he drew his bow multiple times at protesters. A short time later, he is swarmed. His car is then flipped over and set on fire. He spoke with Fox 13 after the incident, sharing a very different perspective from what those videos show.
First I got beat up when I yelled, "All lives matter." Then I pulled out weapons, then I got beat up some more. Then the cops grabbed me and my car got totaled, my phone, everything. I lost everything. Coming down here to try to protect them with what weapons I had.
Sunday, Chief Brown addressed the incident and why he wasn't immediately arrested and charged.
That the man with the bow and arrow was pulled from the crowd by some public order officers as he was being assaulted. The officer's first concern was life safety. It was only later, through the media inquiries and shared footage, that we were able to identify him and the series of events that preceded.
Police are asking for anyone with video of that man with the bow and arrow and machete to come forward so they can further their investigation. In Salt Lake City, Spencer Joseph, Fox 13 News, Utah.
And tonight, police have released pictures of some people that they would like to talk to regarding the burning of that police car that happened yesterday. They are asking for your help to identify these people from these images that you see on your screen. They were posted on social media. So take a good look. If you know who they are, please call Salt Lake City Police.
After the protests ended, all kinds of debris left behind, from graffiti to shattered glass, all throughout public buildings and streets. Fox 13's Katia Collins shows us the efforts to clean up downtown Salt Lake City.
Less than 24 hours after the Salt Lake City protest against police brutality, crews begin their cleanup. Some things didn't blow away as easily. What appears to be an officer's gun that was inside a Salt Lake City police car torched and burned into the asphalt. As UTA workers attempt to repatch and repair, passerbys just want to help.
I have heard from residents and mayors, people from areas even on the Wasatch Back asking if they can come in and help volunteer.
Under a curfew order, it's just not an option.
We're asking people to stay home for now and let us get our arms around the cleanup opportunities as we see them. Please be kind to one another, reach out to your neighbors, check in on each other. We will recover, and we will recover by coming together.
The curfew is in effect until Monday morning at 6 a.m. In Salt Lake City, Katia Collins, Fox 13 News, Utah.
Utah's governor is reacting to last night's violent protests and the vandalism that happened on Capitol Hill. In an interview with Fox 13's Ben Winslow, he also offered some insight on what happens next.
Governor Gary Herbert personally thanked custodial and volunteer crews cleaning up the vandalism at the Utah State Capitol.
It takes a lot longer to clean things up than it is to destroy them. But to see the cleanup that's been done here and what the Capitol looks like today, because of really people stepping up saying, it's my home and I'm not going to have it defaced.
The Capitol Preservation Board says it's still tallying up the damage, but most of it appears to be graffiti. Some professional restoration crews volunteered their time to spray off the graffiti from the historic building. The Capitol was the scene of protests that ended in arrests, but it was notably calmer than the violence we witnessed in downtown Salt Lake City.
What we saw last night was really disheartening. What started out as a peaceful protest became just criminal behavior, and people that used this opportunity to loot and to riot and to steal, vandalize. That's not Utah.
The governor says the state will work to address the underlying causes of the protests.
Certainly are issues that need to be discussed, and we need to make sure we understand the underlying issues there and see what we can do to make it better.
The Utah National Guard has been activated through Salt Lake City's curfew that ends Monday morning. Governor Herbert tells Fox 13 he will not be dismissing them right away.
We'll keep them on the ready. So we'll see if they're needed.
On the Hill, Ben Winslow, Fox 13 News, Utah.
Grocery delivery service Shipt is temporarily stopping service in Salt Lake City due to the protests this past weekend. They sent out an email to customers saying they're putting their service on pause for the safety of its shoppers. If you use the service and you have questions, you can contact their customer service line through their phone app.
Now, one area that was a stark contrast to the chaotic scenes in Salt Lake City was Ogden's peaceful protest.
People gathering throughout Washington Boulevard on Saturday to peacefully kneel. The message to everyone in the crowd was to stay peaceful, and the message to police was to hold each other accountable. Protesters telling Fox 13 they believe all of it is just one act of violence for what happened in Minnesota to happen right here in Utah.
After a long night of dealing with protests, officers in Morgan were given a little surprise this morning. A small local group decided to tie blue ribbons on each of the officers' homes to show support for their service. One member of the group was particularly thankful, recalling back to the support the Morgan officers gave her and her family after her husband passed away.
This is what people do up here. This is how they take care of each other. The cops that live up here, they're our friends and neighbors. They watch out for our kids, they take care of each other. It's just what we do.
The group gathered blue ribbons along with other blue-colored items for more than a dozen officers in the Morgan area.
Stick with Fox 13, both on air and online, as we continue to track the fallout of these protests after the curfew expires. We'll be sure to bring you the latest updates as we continue to learn more.
As I was coming down, I seen the van that it was going down the current, and I heard the lady screaming.
A family stuck in a river in Logan Canyon. Hear from people who witnessed it all happen and from first responders who jumped into action.
Plus, racist and homophobic graffiti left behind at a softball field in Orem. The latest on the search to find those responsible.
And slightly cooler temperatures across the state today, but we're warming back up. However, there is a cool down. I'll show you when in the 7-day forecast after the break.
Fox Wednesday.
It's time to play some tag.
Catch the world's fastest game.
Let's go!
And summer's #1 new hit, Ultimate Tag.
You don't get that anywhere else.
6 amateurs go against the most extreme professional taggers.
She looks crazy. She is crazy.
Good luck out there and don't get caught.
Oh my God!
Join Football's Watt Brothers
I have never seen that.
for a night of family fun.
I'm coming for that W, baby. Let's go!
An all-new Ultimate Tag. Wednesday at 8 on Fox 13.
We all want to feel good and find answers for what ails us. Each Wednesday, health experts and physicians from Intermountain Healthcare will share answers, tips, and advice to help you feel your best. Wellness Wednesdays, each week on Fox 13 News, live at 4.
Our top priority in the state has to be stabilizing our economy. I want to be a governor who lets people govern themselves. We're rugged folks from pioneer stock. We understand what it means to take a risk to build a business, to raise a family. I am so energized about the years ahead, giving everything that I've learned, everything that I've experienced, and putting it to work for the people of this state. The hopes, the wishes, the desires of not just the people who voted for you, but every citizen in this state.
RC Willey showrooms are open, and we've taken extra precautions to provide a safe shopping experience. Our Memorial Day sale at RC Willey ends soon. Enjoy holiday savings store-wide. Save now on top brand appliances, including this Samsung refrigerator for just $10.99. You'll also save on TVs, including this Samsung 75-inch 4K TV, now just $10.99. This Weber grill is only $3.79, and there's much more. Plus, this Coleman tent is just $10 with purchase. Don't miss the Memorial Day sale at RC Willey.
Live's new all June.
This week I called it week 11.
Starting with Amanda Peet. Monday at 10 a.m. on Fox 13. Live from Fox 13 Studios, this is Fox 13 News at 9.
Thanks for joining us. Some scary moments in Heber today as officers respond to a plane crash. This happened just after 1 this afternoon. A plane that was trying to land at the Heber Valley Airport lost power. So that plane landed and crashed into the fence that's near the airport runway. Thankfully, both people inside the plane are doing okay. No one was injured. The FAA has been notified and will respond to conduct their investigation. Today, the Orem High School softball team spent their morning scrubbing off racist and homophobic graffiti that was left on their field. Most of the taggings can't be shown on air because of the offensive language. This all happened sometime Friday night into early Saturday morning. The team first saw it when they got to the field Saturday, and they say they were heartbroken. But almost immediately, the coach and team were overwhelmed with support from the community, and the team refuses to let hate win.
Our softball family came together, and it was a moment to feel united, to push back on hate. And I think as a team, we know now from this experience that love will always win. Love will always prevail. And we need to be courageous and recognize that and stand up when we see something like this. And our community did show that. And I can't say enough words about that.
Orem police are now investigating the situation. There are also some things that will have to be replaced. So if you'd like to help the softball team, we'll show you how on fox13now.com.
A family rescued from extremely fast-moving water yesterday in Logan Canyon. It took first responders some planning to get those inside of the minivan out. They say not even a training exercise could mimic this rescue.
Oh my, that's so freaky. Did they have everybody out?
Viewer video showing the tense moments before Logan City fire personnel and search and rescue volunteers arrived on scene.
It looks like someone is still in there.
A woman and 4 children inside the minivan, stuck in the middle of the river.
I'm scared to death. I hope the kids are okay.
Bystanders trying to keep those inside of the vehicle calm.
Everybody was panicking. Everybody was screaming for help.
Others even thought about braving the fast water to get them to safety.
I didn't get more than a couple feet off the bank. It was really flowing.
Firefighters arrived and immediately called for backup.
If it wasn't for the rock that's holding it over there, it could have been a lot worse.
Luckily, water didn't enter the minivan.
We had time on our side. We took time to make good plans. And after we had the initial plan have some issues with that, we regrouped.
After securing the vehicle with a tow truck, bystanders who were Swiftwater certified helped by using their kayaks to secure the other side of the river.
We happened to have some people here that really knew what they were doing. They jumped into the advisement of plans that we were putting in place, and they were actually they were able to take their kayaks across, which we didn't have.
With the help of those on the shore, one by one, all 5 people were rescued.
You can do all the stuff you want in training, but you never can really plan for a situation like what we came across.
Turning to weather now in Breck, despite the above average temperatures that we've been seeing this week, those waterways still dangerously cold.
Oh, they are. Yeah, we talked about the spring into summer runoff, just barely past the peak, but those rivers definitely flowing high, fast, and cold. Of course, with these hot temperatures near record breaking, we're going to keep this heating trend going. But there is some relief in sight. We didn't see much of it today, but we did see a lot more sunshine throughout the day. Beautiful sunset as we're tailing off and seeing a few clouds across northern Utah, but no threat of any showers. Of course, far cry from yesterday where we had those afternoon, evening thunderstorms producing those gusty winds. A little bit more calm, at least for northern Utah. A high today in Salt Lake City, 93 degrees. Once again, we should be in the upper 70s. We got close to a record, which today it was at 95 degrees. So as I mentioned, we're going to keep temperatures at least another day in the 90s. Now, as we've moved through the month of May, we look at the highs and lows, give you the whole average as we look through the month. And for the month of May here in 2020, it's the 3rd warmest May on record, where the average temperature between the high and low was 65 or just over 65 degrees. Now the record is 1934, just over 66, where on average a normal May is close to 60 degrees. So we have the driest April on record. Now looking at May, definitely a warm one. How does the first week of June look? Well, let's take a look at that. But first, you look at the current conditions along the Wasatch Front, where we're still hanging on to the 80s. Winds calming down, a little breezy in Provo. We do see winds subsiding here in the overnight hours, and we're seeing that effect right now where we had fire weather warnings in place all across southern Utah. Gusty winds upwards of 40 miles per hour, but right now the range is between 5 to 15 miles per hour. So improvements, again, as we move into the overnight hours. Looking ahead towards tomorrow, holding on to a fire weather warning in place, as you can see, for west central towards southwestern Utah. And that'll be in effect as we look throughout tomorrow into the evening as well. Low humidities, wind gusts in excess of 35 miles per hour. not the good ingredients for any fire hazards, and hopefully we don't start any fires. Mother Nature probably not going to be the culprit as we're pushing out the moisture, where earlier on we still found some active weather across southeastern Utah with some thunderstorms. That moving on also across northeastern Utah. Wasatch Front, it's been dry even though we've had a few clouds around. We'll see some clouds in the overnight hours, but it is a drying trend. This low pressure system pushing northward, but is allowing for that stronger southwest flow, and high pressure will build back in, which will allow afternoon highs to be even a little bit warmer for tomorrow. So we're hanging on to the heat, but we got some bigger storms out there. We're not going to see much of an impact, as mentioned here, for the next couple of days. Again, that drying trend where once we get past these clouds overnight, we'll see plenty of sunshine throughout the day. Looking at our computer models as we start off, sunny for northern, central, southern Utah, southeastern Utah, maybe just a few clouds around. You're not seeing any greens across the state. Not seeing the precipitation or those isolated thunderstorms. Maybe a small threat, extreme southeastern Utah, but for most of the state, it stays dry, not only tomorrow, but Tuesday as well, as we'll have the sunshine. But we have a little cool front that will brush by on Tuesday, which looks to drop temperatures just a little bit, but it's not the cool down we're looking for. Tonight, overnight lows, not bad though, 50s and 60s. That allows you to open up your windows, allow that house to cool down, where over the past couple of evenings, we've seen temperatures only get down into the mid 70s. So a little cooler, that helps out. We're gonna find 50s across central Utah, low 60s in St. George. Tomorrow's highs, again, even warmer, low to mid 90s, near record breaking. We're seeing 80s in Park City, low 90s in Vernal, still some breezes across the southern Utah, but all in all, just a few clouds around. We don't see the shower threat, but we'll see sunny skies on Tuesday and warm temperatures, and getting it back to the triple digits by Thursday, maybe a possibility of an isolated shower. Then it looks to be cooler for the weekend, dipping down into the low 90s, at least for St. George. Northern Utah, we see that trend as well, where it's hot tomorrow, a little cooler on Tuesday, still above normal. 90s again Wednesday and Thursday. Then we see some rain showers, a storm moving through, bringing in a cool front. This one has the punch, and it looks to bring those temperatures closer to where we should be for this time of year, actually slightly below normal heading into Sunday. That's the relief we're looking for. We get some rain to go along with it. But for the next 4 days, we still have to contend with the heat, and it's going to feel a lot like summer here for this first week of June.
Heat and some of that wind ripe for fire activity. So
yeah,
of course,
definitely have to be cautious for that.
Absolutely.
We don't want to start any fires.
That's right. Thank you, Breck.
Right, still ahead tonight, a major milestone for protecting those on the front lines of COVID-19. We're going to show you the push to make sure no one goes without a mask.
And we'll show you some strategies to help you manage increased stress and anxiety during the pandemic.
For your kids, life goes by fast. The world around them is always changing. Their friends, their family, their role models, and even their thoughts about alcohol. That's why you need to talk with them about alcohol earlier than ever, not just when they're teenagers. As early as 9. Yep, as early as 9. So don't let alcohol slow your kids down. Talk to them early and set clear rules against underage drinking for a healthy brain and an unstoppable future.
I have spent almost 7 years working closely with my Lieutenant Governor, Spencer Cox. He is a proven leader and a true conservative who is deeply committed to our state and its future. I trust his judgment and vision, especially in challenging times. This recovery is too important to leave to chance. Spencer helped me lead our economy into the most prosperous period in state history. I trust him to do it again. Vote for Spencer Cox to be Utah's next governor.
At Intermountain Healthcare, we understand that broken arms haven't stopped. Babies continue to be born, emergencies continue to happen, and doctor visits are still needed. At Intermountain Healthcare, we've put the measures in place to safely care for you in these difficult times. So please don't put off the care you need, especially for stroke-like symptoms, chest pain, difficulty breathing, or other urgent care. We're here for you. Visit intermountainhealthcare.org/here4you to learn how to get the care you need.
Fox 13 News is connecting you and your family to better health. Thursdays at 9 a.m. and 4. We'll feature the latest ways to live well and stay healthy. Healthier Together with Regions. Thursdays on Fox 13 News. Brought to you by Regions, Blue Cross Blue Shield of Utah.
In Utah, things are earned through hard work. Not given, not handed down. I'm Thomas Wright, the only candidate for governor who's built a business from the ground up and succeeded in a recession. I knew every decision affected the well-being of my employees' families, not just my own. Over time, I earned their trust. Career politicians shouldn't ask to be given another chance just because their names are familiar. I'm Thomas Wright, and I want to earn your vote for Utah's next governor.
Things are tough right now, and many don't know where to turn for help. That's why Fox 13 News created The Rebound Utah. From financial recovery to putting food on your table and more. Everything you need to help get through these difficult times.
Fox 13 News has a new partnership with Regents Blue Cross Blue Shield of Utah. It's called Healthier Together.
Yeah, the goal of this initiative is to educate you about various health topics and to help you live well and stay healthy. Fox 13's Amy Nay takes a closer look at how you can cope with the increased stress and anxiety that we've all faced lately.
We've had to change the way that we work. We've had to adapt with how we socialize. We've been living with a lot of uncertainty.
These factors, combined with the fear of COVID-19, have caused stress and anxiety for so many of us.
Uneasiness, fear, tension, headaches, increase of blood pressure, challenges with sleep.
Dr. Jim Polo, Behavioral Health Medical Director for Regents Blue Cross Blue Shield, says understanding the difference between stress and anxiety can actually help you improve both.
Stress is really a response, usually to an external threat in a situation.
A threat of contracting coronavirus is one example, but threats can also be as simple as an argument or possibly missing a deadline.
And our response to that stress is what then helps us deal with the threat. And when the threat is resolved, usually the stress goes away with it.
But Dr. Polo says anxiety is more of a feeling.
Typically, that feeling is one of dread and apprehension in situations that really aren't threatening.
Coping strategies include relaxation training, meditation, or seeking out social support. Health professionals also suggest trying to resolve that which is causing you stress and therefore possibly helping you eliminate the feelings of anxiety that come with it. Also focusing on the things you can control versus those that you cannot.
For example, you can't control whether you're going to get infected, but you can control wearing a mask. You can control washing your hands.
So making some lifestyle changes now can really improve your health long term. You've surely heard of some of these suggestions before, but we're talking about exercise, nutrition, sleep, and practicing mindfulness. They are all things that you can do to manage chronic stress, which in turn leads to lower anxiety. For Healthier Together, I'm Amy Nay, Fox 13 News, Utah.
A story idea, if you have health questions or if you have a story idea that you'd like to have Fox 13 cover in this new segment, we want to hear from you. Send us an email at healthiertogether@fox13now.com.
Still ahead, protests over the death of George Floyd continue to boil over across the country. How city leaders are trying to calm tensions in their very own communities.
And we'll have new details on an overnight fire in Ogden, what we've learned from first responders.
The open road, the wind in your hair, the feeling of freedom that drives us to go out and discover. At Chevy, we're committed to getting you there with confidence and peace of mind. If you need a new vehicle, we have leases available on select 2020 models where current qualified lessees can practically sign and drive. You may even shop online and take delivery at home where available. And when you do, your Chevy Clean dealers commit to using enhanced vehicle cleaning measures with CDC-approved cleansers, so you can find new roads with confidence.
My opponents are nice people, but the let's make everybody happy, move to the middle type of person isn't made to lead in a crisis. I will never turn our smartphones into surveillance devices or uphold indefinite, heavy-handed government orders from liberal mayors that violate our freedoms. I will always defend our constitutional rights, especially in a crisis. Utah conservatives, join me, and together we'll get it done.
0. The smallest number can now make for the biggest savings at Hyundai. With 0 interest for up to 84 months. 0 payments for 90 days. And thanks to Hyundai Assurance, 0 worries with 3 years of complimentary maintenance. It's the final days of the Memorial Day sales event. But hurry, before the clock hits, well, you know. Get a Tucson with 0% APR for 84 months and no payments for 90 days. Or get $3,750 in savings. Only at your Utah Hyundai dealer.
You say the customers make their own rules. Let's talk data.
Only Xfinity Mobile lets you switch up your wireless data whenever.
I accept. 5G. Everybody's talking about it. How do I get it?
Everyone gets 5G with our new data options at no extra cost.
That's good. Next item, corner offices for everyone. We just have to make more corners in this building. Chad?
Your wireless, your rules. Only with Xfinity Mobile. Now that's simple, easy, awesome. Switch and save up to $400 a year on your wireless bill. Plus, get $200 off a new Samsung Galaxy S20 Ultra.
Live from Fox 13 Studios, this is Fox 13 News at 9.
All right, we know a lot of protests happening all across the country tonight. A lot of damage going on as well. This is a live look coming from a chopper out of Boston where they also have that curfew in effect. I can't really see the crowds out there right now, but we do know there are several areas across the country that are seeing protests, that are seeing looting, a lot of violence going on as police try to get a handle on all of these demonstrations happening throughout our country.
Well, Kirsten, we've seen a lot of the images on social media tonight as well, like cities in Philadelphia, for example, Boston, all of them experiencing the violence, the looting, the cars set on fire. So it is a common trend. It's now the 6th day of these protests since George Floyd's death.
Daryl Forge has the latest from Minneapolis.
We just want justice for George Floyd.
Demonstrators trying to keep the focus on George Floyd.
We have to call for more serious charges. That's the bottom line here.
And the issue surrounding his death in Minneapolis police custody.
The fatigue and the fact that we as African Americans are tired and frustrated of the treatment of white police officers in this country.
Officials across the country expressed their hopes for a quieter night. In Los Angeles, Mayor Eric Garcetti said those who engage in destruction and vandalism Saturday need to stop.
They have not just caused chaos and damage. They are hijacking a moment and a movement and changing the conversation.
Cities from Atlanta to Miami to San Francisco have Sunday night curfews. That includes Chicago, where Mayor Lori Lightfoot urged against the violence of Saturday night.
Think about tomorrow for you, for your families, for your loved ones, and for your city.
Illinois and Minnesota are among states that have activated the National Guard to help respond to the unrest. In Minneapolis, Minnesota, I'm Daryl Forges.
Weber County firefighters stopped forward spread on the 9th Street fire after it broke out late last night. The wildfire began to encroach numerous structures east of 9th Street in Ogden. Firefighters say the fire is 35 acres. At one point, it was threatening 72 homes. Fortunately, it never became serious enough to have to begin evacuating people from their homes.
The winds kind of died down and kind of gave us a jump on the incident and was able to kind of get control of it.
Good news tonight, firefighters have this 100% contained. It was a human-caused fire. There was also a new start in Millard County tonight called the West Fork 8 Mile Fire near Scipio Summit. That fire is estimated between 10 to 15 acres and was caused by lightning this evening.
Meanwhile, crews are continuing to work on a fire on Stansbury Island. This one is called the Tabby Canyon Fire. So far, it has burned almost 4,200 acres and doesn't have any containment. Firefighters say it is too windy to fly personnel in, which means they have a long hike to get to those flames. Crews have determined that this fire is human-caused.
Another man has lost his life to COVID-19 in the state of Utah. He was a Wasatch County resident, younger than the age of 65. Utah now has seen 113 deaths related to the virus. The number of positive cases in Utah stands at 9,797 cases. That's an increase of 264. Utah's positive case rate has gone up slightly to 4.6%.
5 million masks have been made here in Utah through the Project Protect initiative. So this initiative was led by Intermountain Healthcare, University of Utah Health, and LDS Charities. And it's completed its goal of 5 million masks for frontline healthcare workers. And they met that goal this weekend as those who volunteered dropped off the last of the masks at Deseret Industry stores all around the state.
It's very important to wear the mask and to stop the spread of this awful disease. So hopefully it will get eradicated soon and people can move on with their lives.
The Project Protect initiative will now work to get the masks out to caregivers of COVID-19 patients all across the state.
Still ahead tonight, we continue to show you ways you can bounce back from COVID-19, see how you can retool your skills and potentially begin your path towards a new career for an affordable price.
Fox 13's Lauren Steinbrecher, part of Utah's #1 news team.
Here's to the road ahead. Trust Toyota to be here for you.
Your Toyota dealers are offering so many ways for you to save, including 0% financing for 60 months and attractive leases on popular Toyotas like Camry, RAV4, and Tacoma. And Toyota will defer your payments up to 90 days. You can even shop and buy online from the comfort of your home.
All from the brand you trust, today and tomorrow. Toyota.
你美得让人难以相信，忍不住对你一见钟情，你像来自天堂的梦境，我多希望把你抱紧。I love you, baby， 如果你不反对，我需要你。
New tender black pepper Angus steak, hot off the wok and ready for delivery. Only from Panda Express.
Dollar Loan Center offers more time to pay back than almost any short-term loan company. If all you need to pay back is a few days, great, big time savings. But if you need longer, we'll give you over a full year.
Fox 13 News is proud to support local business with We're Open Utah. If you're a business supporting our community, we want to hear from you at fox13now.com/open.
Big shout out to Fox 13.
Thanks, Fox 13 and Big Buddha. We love you. Viva Fox 13.
Thanks, Fox 13.
Mahalo, Fox 13, for all the love you guys show us.
I'd like to give Channel 13 a big shaka. Love you guys.
Because now, more than ever, we all need to be open.
Are you watching Gloria in my sunglasses?
Is she moving in slow motion, or is my brain doing now?
Next, Modern Family. Monday at 6:30 on Fox 13. Fox 13's The Place, followed by The Dr. Oz Show.
It's a 1-2 punch.
Weekdays starting at 1, right here on Fox 13.
We have the power to protect ourselves from contracting COVID-19 by avoiding close contact with others, not touching your face, washing your hands, coughing into your elbow, and disinfecting surfaces.
Excited, hungry, fired up.
Excited to get back to work.
Ready to go to work.
When Utah finally reopens, some businesses will go on a hiring spree. Others will have to lay off some of their workers.
And as Fox 13's Bob Evans shows us, this is the time to sharpen your skills so that you can be ready for Utah's rebound.
Chris Ebert has had some extra time on his hands since the beginning of the lockdown. Time the software developer is putting to good use.
I decided to embed myself and sign up for cloud training to hopefully acquire some certifications that'll make me more marketable and be helpful to me in my career.
Chris is earning his second Amazon Cloud certification from online training platform A Cloud Guru at just $49 a month. Chris is already a developer, but these certifications can take you from zero to marketable skills in weeks and months, not years. Sounds crazy, right?
It does at face value, but when you go through this training and how it's structured and it's hands-on and it's the same type of task that you would be asked to perform at an employer.
Chris is making exactly the right move, and this is the right time to upgrade your skills. The job doctor, CJ Eason, is with JobFairGiant.com. Eason says while some companies are struggling to stay afloat, others are struggling to fill jobs. You'll be competitive for IT support jobs with Google's IT support certification.
Then you qualify to work with companies, of course, with Google. You also qualify for Hulu. You also qualify for PNC Bank.
These in-demand IT certifications can earn a good salary. While entry-level jobs can earn $30,000 to $40,000 a year, others earn a lot more.
When you do become certified in Azuri, your pay salary could be up to $126,000 a year.
If IT study is not your thing, websites such as Coursera have certificates to help you brush up on your business skills too. And if you always wanted to go to Harvard Business School, now may be your chance. You can earn a Harvard certificate at a community college price.
Who would not want some type of certificate from Harvard Online Business? You can get a certificate in economics. You can get a certificate in financial accounting.
As for Chris, he says the skills he's gaining now will make him more competitive in a changing world.
Everything's moving to being in the cloud more and more every year. These certifications are in demand, and they're actually required now for some positions at various companies.
Bob Evans, Fox 13 News, Utah.
These certificates are affordable. In some cases, the learning is free, but the actual certification test will cost you over $100. It's an investment, and earning these certifications show your current or future employees that you're committed to staying up to date or learning something new. We'll have links to them on our website, fox13now.com.
Still to come, and it was a big hit at the Utah Film Festival, Slam Dance. Hear more about the new movie, The Vast of Night.
And coming up in sports, Utah Jazz owner Gail Miller speaks out on the protests in Salt Lake City. And NASCAR racing resumes. A wild finish in Bristol. The highlights are on the way.
Thanks, Utah, for an amazing day at the Fox 13 Virtual Food Drive.
I need you to donate.
We said we'd match up to $12,000 for the Utah Food Bank.
We got a huge response from you, our viewers.
And you crushed it.
It's amazing.
Helping us raise over $96,000 to buy over 375,000 meals.
Wow.
It's all part of the recovery from COVID-19 with Fox 13's The Rebound and the Scripps Howard Foundation. And remember, we'll get through this together.
When you're forged out of the pioneer spirit that founded Utah, you have to be resourceful, innovative, and resilient. That's why we're still running bus, tracks, front runner, and paratransit service. Transit is critical, and life's essentials won't wait. And we know you need safe and reliable transportation to reach them. Providing safe service isn't only our goal, it's our mission. We're here for you today and into the future. Together, we'll keep moving forward.
In a time when we can't all gather around a table, we can still come together as a community. We're Open Utah is a partnership between Fox 13 and our local restaurants and businesses with one goal, getting them through this tough time. Every day, we'll help shine a light on the businesses that make up our community. We'll tell their stories, rally around those who are keeping the grills going and the businesses operating. Fox 13 is committed to bringing you those stories and giving our local businesses a voice in our newscasts, on our website, mobile app, and social media sites. If you're a business supporting our community, we want to hear from you. Please go to fox13now.com/open to submit your video or comments and let us know how your business or organization is evolving. As you find ways to support your local businesses, share your photos and stories with us at #OpenUtah. Because now, more than ever, we all need to be open.
There's a threat targeting America: Lyme disease. Spread by tiny ticks, this dangerous disease can cause life-changing health problems and is now more widespread than West Nile, tuberculosis, and HIV/AIDS combined. So it's time for us to target Lyme disease. That means checking for ticks when you've been outside and seeing a doctor if you experience the warning signs, which can include joint pain and flu-like symptoms. Learn how you can target Lyme disease at targetlyme.org.
Join Bob Evans, weeknights on Fox 13 News at 9.
Entertainment time. Here in Utah, we often talk about those movies that get their start at the Sundance Film Festival.
And plenty of them. Tonight, we look at a film that won the Audience Award at the other big festival in Park City, the Slam Dance. Our Steve Oldfield talks with the star of The Vast of Night.
BOTW, we got a sound we'd like to play that seems to be bouncing around the valley tonight.
The Vast of Night is a sci-fi mystery set in a small western town in the 1950s.
I can tell you what's going on.
The film takes its time. Director Andrew Patterson does a great job at what I call letting the movie breathe, something I talked about with star Sierra McCormick in my first ever Zoom interview.
Andrew talked about a lot when we were filming. He mentioned almost that very, very similar sort of analogy, letting a film breathe and stuff like that. He talked about that. That's funny that you mentioned that. I think that, the reason why a lot of audiences so far have really, responded to the movies because the movie has a lot of faith in the audience and how smart they are and, how willing they are to sort of, look at the movie and try to draw out things for themselves instead of spoon feeding you every single way that you're supposed to feel, every emotion with a big cut or a music cue and stuff like that.
Number, please.
Learning how to use an old-fashioned phone switchboard was her biggest challenge.
They moved a switchboard into my hotel room, and I would come home after a rehearsal or shooting and just spend a couple hours sitting at this switchboard, like pulling the cords out, plugging them in, releasing them, pulling them out, plugging in, releasing them.
Yeah, and I will tell you, my 92-year-old mom in the 50s did that job for a year and a half.
Wow, yeah, I mean, that was a lot of...
lady plugging that stuff in, and I was watching you. I was thinking of her, and I can't wait for her to see the picture because of that.
I'd love for her to critique my switchboard operating.
I'm sure she'd say you did great.
The Vast of Nights, a smart and fun PG-13 film.
Stop smiling.
And it got its start here in Utah at Slamdance. Steve Oldfield, Fox 13 News, Utah.
All right, Breck, a hot week that we've seen above average temperatures all across the board, but you did have talks of rain?
Oh, rain and a cool down. We've got a bigger storm on the way. It's out there in the distance, but first, as of course we've been experiencing these hot temperatures, record-breaking yesterday, near record-breaking today, highlighting a photo from Michael Bowman, who was up doing some hiking, showing you just how much snow we've been melting due to the accelerated rate because of these hot temperatures. And we're going to really need to be heading for the hills once again tomorrow to try and get a break from the heat as temperatures once again look to be well above normal. Now, right now we stand at 82 degrees, a few clouds around heading through the Wasatch Front. No concerns for any precipitation. A little breezy out there. Winds of the north at 20 miles per hour. Winds much more of a factor towards southern Utah come tomorrow. Kind of a persistent breeze. No high wind warnings in place, but still fire danger definitely across southern Utah. In addition, another area of concern is the drought situation. We've been seeing more severe levels as you look for Juab, Tooele County, even Utah County towards southeastern Utah. The light tan is moderate concern level, which incorporates most of the Wasatch Front. Of course, a dry April, fairly dry May. It really was really dry up until about the third week of May where we got a little precipitation. Looking ahead, though, some positive news, especially as we look towards the second week of June, moving through halfway of the month where we're looking at above normal precipitation from the Climate Prediction Center. Still a few days out there, but as we do bring in some storms, we'll find those cooler temperatures and, yeah, much needed moisture in the forecast. But for the next 3, 4, really almost 5 days, we're going to keep it hot and fairly dry. So as we look right now, showers that were threatening across eastern Utah now dissipating, moving off towards the east. We bring in some clouds, but drier air tracking through as this storm system moving north. It'll usher in a little weak front come tomorrow. That's mainly going to be dropping temperatures on Tuesday, but ahead of that, we're still going to find a hot southerly flow, and that'll keep temperatures well above normal. Now, I mentioned that possibility storms out there, not in effect here for the next couple of days. We look at our computer models forecasting where we potentially could see some rain. Maybe extreme southeastern Utah come tomorrow into Tuesday, but that's it. So sunny skies, hot temperatures, northern, central, and southern Utah, just a few clouds across the southeast, and that's about it. So let's take a look at your hour-by-hour forecast for the Wasatch Front. As we look towards tomorrow, starting off 7 a.m., we've got the sunshine. We've got temperatures in the 70s. Overnight lows, though, will be dipping down into the 60s. So that's a little bit of a break where over the past couple of evenings, even in the overnight hours, it hasn't been cooling off too much. So you can definitely open up your window. But temperatures will quickly climb. You're turning on the AC once we head into the afternoon. Well, again, in the 90s, where today we were 93 degrees in Salt Lake City, low 90s to expected once again. Not breaking any records, but we'll be fairly close. As we're looking at 80s of your forecast for Logan, 94 in Salt Lake City, 80 in Park City, as well as in Vernal. We're going to be looking at temperatures, 90 in Vernal, 85 in Price, upper 90s in Moab, some winds across the south. And that with fire danger, a concern with low humidities where that'll probably be a concern at least for another day. But temperatures close to 100 in St. George, where we're going back to the triple digits. Upper 90s Tuesday, Wednesday with some clouds. Thursday, 101. Then the storm hits. It brings a chance of some early evening showers on Thursday, and then temperatures dropping down into the low 90s for any plans that you have in southern Utah for next weekend. Northern Utah is just downright hot. A little break on Tuesday, mid 80s, but as a reminder, our average high for this time of year, we should be in the upper 70s. We'll be far from that. 90s Wednesday, Thursday. But we'll get down to the 70s. It's going to be throughout the weekend with the possibility of some scattered rain showers Friday and Saturday. Not a washout for the weekend, but we will find cooler temperatures, low 80s to 70s on Sunday. So that's definitely going to bring a nice break. But hopefully we get some rain out of this next couple of storms. But for the next few days, it's definitely the summer heat.
Well, not something that typically you would think going hand in hand, Jeff, but the Utah Jazz weighing in on protests that were featured in downtown Salt Lake City yesterday.
Yeah, team owner Gail Milley has addressed racism in our community before, speaking at the Jazz crowd at a Vivint Smart Home Arena game last year after Russell Westbrook had a verbal altercation with a Jazz fan. Miller spoke out again today with a statement following yesterday's protests in Salt Lake City. It's my sincerest hope that we will all work together peacefully and respectfully to put an end to the mistreatment of any human being. Our homes, neighborhoods, institutions, and businesses are enriched and strengthened when we invite, embrace, and celebrate our rich diversity. We must hold ourselves and those around us accountable to the highest standards of decency. We must approach each other with empathy and kindness as we continue to build collaboration and, more importantly, inclusivity and trust. NASCAR was back at Bristol Motor Speedway in Tennessee, and it got real exciting down the stretch. Denny Hamlin was in front with 12 laps to go, but he was passed by Joey Logano and Chase Elliott. Hamlin tried to fight back into position, but he would slide out of control, bringing out the 17th caution of the race, and Elliott was in the lead. Then with 3 laps to go, Logano continued to battle up front. Logano was in front, and Elliott and Logano hit the wall, allowing Brad Keselowski to slide past into the lead. He won the Coca-Cola 600 last week after a caution with 2 laps remaining helped him win. And now a crash at the end opened the door for another win by Keselowski. Supercross returned to Salt Lake City with the first of 7 days of racing at Rice-Eccles Stadium. Eli Tomac won the 450 event after an 85-day break in the season. Tonight on the Fox 13 Sports page, we'll also hear from Utah Royals FC on the NWSL tournament coming to Utah, plus BYU basketball player Jesse Wade and Utah Athletic Director Mark Harlan. Well, it's time for you to be the star. Here's another round of highlights from home. This is the Smithfield Blue Sox under-11 baseball team with their virtual practice throwing the ball around. And these guys are ready to play. Kathy Bergstrom taught her dog Layla how to jump on the trampoline. How about Nick Burst tumbling in the backyard? A round-off, 1 back handspring, and Arabian. And here's 13-year-old Charlie Burns from Bountiful practicing his hockey skills. If you want to be on highlights from home, send your videos to sports at fox13now.com.
You know, it's hard to think about high school sports, but there is a high school angle in tonight's sports page, Jeff.
Yeah, touching story about a basketball player up in Cache Valley, Smith of Skyview High School, reuniting with his birth mom after 18 years. It's a good story. You want to see it.
Looking forward to seeing that tonight on the Fox 13 sports page. We'll see you in a few minutes.
On the next Modern Family, it's a Hawaiian vacation for the whole family.
Haley, sweetie, put the phone down and put on some sunscreen, please. We have got to stay on these kids all day or else they're gonna burn. Are you watching Gloria in my sunglasses?
Is she moving in slow motion or is my brain doing now?
Next Modern Family, Monday at 6:30 on Fox 13.
Realizes the enormous trials and tribulations families and their children have endured. We want you to know Shriners Hospitals for Children is here for your child, providing highly specialized orthopedic, musculoskeletal, burn, and cleft lip care, regardless of a family's ability to pay. Shriners Hospitals for Children.
Times have been tough. As life in Utah cautiously begins to reopen, advertising is more important than ever to remind and alert customers to your business. With TV viewership at unprecedented highs, there's no better time to advertise than now. Contact Fox 13 for help with cost-effective ways to get your message out there fast and boost your business. You need an advantage to help energize your recovery. Fox 13 can help you rebound.
and get you back in business. Local restaurants need our help more than ever. If you need a break from your kitchen, join us for Takeout Tuesday and order from your favorite local spot and share your experience with hashtag Takeout Tuesday. Find stories about the resilience of our local business community at fox13now.com/open. So order up, take it out, and kick back tonight. Takeout Tuesday, brought to you by Fox 13 News and Fox 13's The Place, part of We're Open Utah. High school and college seniors are missing out on a formal graduation, and Fox 13 News would like to salute them. Submit photos and comments about your senior to fox13now.com/2020. Then stay tuned to our Salute to Seniors daily on Fox 13 News. Fox 13 News is proud to support local business with We're Open Utah. If you're a business supporting our community, we want to hear from you at fox13now.com/open.
Hey, Fox 13, thank you for all you've done.
Microwaves, dinner in seconds, but at what price? New rules to avoid cancer and food poisoning.
Monday at 2 on Fox 13.
Broken AC, $4,600. Water heater, $1,500. Fridge on the fritz, $1,000.
You won't pay any of that when you have home warranty coverage from the Home Service Club.
They'll repair or replace your covered home appliances and systems for around $1 a day.
HSC provides coverage of up to 47 different appliances and systems in your home.
Call the number on your screen now. Get a month free plus $75 off your first year HSC home warranty. No worries, just service.
Join Kelly Chapman, weeknights on Fox 13 News at 9.
All right, finally here on Fox 13, an Intermountain healthcare patient was able to experience a touching moment this weekend. You see it here. It's his son's wedding. Mike Pierce is in the cardiac ICU at Intermountain Medical Center in Murray, and he's waiting for a heart transplant. He's the father of the groom, Zach. He and his new wife were planning a wedding later this year, but they wanted to have it sooner, so they decided to hold it on the roof of the IMC's employee parking garage. Also, his dad could see it from his hospital room. I should have read that one before we got it on air. That was very, very touching.
You know, that was really nice. He had a nice bird's eye view. It looked like actually a good setup given the circumstance.
Well, thanks for watching Fox 13 News at 9.
Join us for a quick cast coming up next.
And Sports Page after that.